You're listening to the Drunk Sports Podcast with Big Red and IndyCar Tim. Talking sports, current events, guy stuff, and everything in between. Now open up a cold one and drink along because here they are, Lance and Tim.
You can buy me a drink.
We're all drunk.
Absolutely.
Hello, and welcome to the Drunk Sports Podcast. I'm IndyCar Tim, along with my favorite partner in the whole world,
Big Red, baby.
Mr. Big Red Baby himself. And we are live tonight from the Maverick Bar and Grill at 1616 West Hebron Parkway in Carrollton. 75010 is the zip if that helps you. We would like you to visit their website, themaverickbar.com, and we would like you to call them and bug them on the phone at 972-492-7500. Hello to our drunk dudes and dolls, and hello to our drunk sports podtards. We have soccer going on tonight, Lance. What the hell?
It's almost like we're at the game.
It feels just like we're at the game right now.
The match.
Is it a match?
Yes, soccer is a match.
Soccer's a match.
Not played on the field, it's played on the pitch.
Well, I'm very confused by everything that's happening right now.
I'm scared. I'm really kind of scared.
I'm very confused by everything that's happening on this large television screen behind us because we have people on the same team that are not wearing the same color uniforms. We have a clock that will not stop. And we have a ball that will not go in the net.
They will eventually.
So what is happening?
Somebody has to score. It's the final.
And we also have a soccer game that is not the World Cup. So for those of you who don't normally listen, I'm very confused by...
You get there.
I'm very confused by soccer. Nope. We're trying to arrange the speaker that has to face that way. Otherwise, we're going to get feedback.
We got feed.
Yeah, it's got to face that way, like that. And again, it's going to be a disaster. Nope, can't face that way. It's got to face that way. It's got to face that way. And we are producing on the air.
Hey! Once
so
again,
the
technology.
What's known as the Gold Cup, which is not the same as the World Cup, is happening right now.
No, because apparently we can't qualify for the damn World Cup. We just play the Gold Cup.
So the Gold Cup, I've been told by our friend Tony, is the third place person, team, country, whatever.
Paying attention.
I don't know what the Gold Cup is, but it's not the World Cup. So, we're going to get this out of the way right now. I'm not a fan of soccer, but congratulations to Alex Morgan, who carried the USA women's team.
Dude, don't. No.
No?
No.
Don't congratulate her or what?
Well, we can congratulate the team. We're going to congratulate the team.
Well, she's the only one that matters. She's the hottest one of all of them.
Well,
right?
I mean, yeah, it is what it is. But, I mean, we don't need to... My political views don't need to be shared here, and you're getting...
We're not sharing political views.
You're getting into my political views. If you're going to talk about Alex Morgan and Rapino or whatever.
I don't even know who that is. All I know is that Alex Morgan is hot.
She is. Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you, man.
I've had worse.
I've had much worse. Not recently, of course, but I've had much, much worse. For those of you that are watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, we may be having some video difficulties that I'm trying to work through right now that I did not think we would have because we have the most badass high-speed Wi-Fi. I did not think this was going to be an issue, but it might very well be. But it is what it is.
And here we are.
So we're moving forward with the recording. We're moving forward with the live broadcast. Stacy wants to know where's my partner. Well, he's actually sitting right next to me, but I don't know why the video feed is not updating. So we're just going to move forward. We're going to plug along.
He left.
And we will figure that crap out later. Technology will not win for the 17th time out of 20 episodes. I refuse to let that happen.
Okay.
So, big shout-outs to everybody as we broadcast live from the Maverick Bar in Carrollton, Texas, as I mentioned.
Thank you, Big Fish.
We want to say thank you to Mr. Mike Fisher for putting this together for us. We want to say thanks to Mr. Colin Frank, who helped put this together. We want to thank everybody here that's at the Maverick. Rob is here. We want to thank Rob for coming out and his beautiful wife. We want to thank my wife, not your wife, my wife.
My wife had bigger fish to fry.
That's all right. She needs to fry some fish, man. We got to eat. RJ Not Choppy is here. Mr. John Gerber is here. Tony Ellis is here, who, by the way, I never recovered the case of Miller Lite that he bought for us.
Probably because I drank it.
But it is what it is. And then Mike and Tori are here, and then there are literally thousands of people looking at me wondering what the hell is going on.
Yeah, what are these two idiots doing?
Why are these people on stage, and what happened to my soccer game?
Right.
I'm sorry, match? Soccer match?
Match.
So we've got a great show that everyone would probably really enjoy if they just listened. As always, we have apologies and corrections. We've got hugs and high fives. We've got Twitter, which is not the social media platform. We've got short shots. We're going to talk about the NBA's top 15 free agents, where they went.
We're going to need another bucket of beer before
we
this is over
might
with.
get to the highest paid athletes of 2019 in the world. That's one that we pushed back for about a month and a half that we never get to, but we'll try to get to it.
And then we might get to blowing smoke up your ass.
And then a very special Lance segment when blowing smoke up your ass was much more than just a saying, and this is an actual thing. So we have a lot of content. The first thing we need to get to is the absolutely count. For those of you unfamiliar with the absolutely count, this is Lance's crutch word when we first started this podcast. We realized very early on was absolutely. He says absolutely all the time. That's why we have the drop.
Absolutely.
Who is Too Tall Jones, former Dallas Cowboy.
Great.
Number 72 defensive end. Had literally 145,612 sacks in the NFL that they do not recognize. He should be the all-time sacks leader.
They weren't recording sacks.
He was also a boxer.
He did.
Remember that?
Yep.
When he left, I think in like an 86 to be a boxer. So long story short, if that's possible at this point, Lance's crutch word was absolutely. So we created a drinking game for the show out of it. And anyone, when you hear absolutely, whether you're listening at home live, if you're listening at home on the podcast, if you're just by yourself and you're really lonely and you got a beer, whenever you hear the word absolutely, but not the recording,
Absolutely.
we have to say it live.
So what
You
you're
take
saying,
a shot.
What you're saying is Rob owes us 17 shots while he's sitting there.
Well, his own. They have to do shots.
Right. He can split it up amongst him and his wife.
They can do whatever they want.
However he wants to handle it, that's fine, but he owes us that, right?
I agree.
Okay.
So, apologies and corrections is the favorite segment that everyone tells me. They love this part because it's when we admit we screwed up the week before. And I'm actually considering pulling audio and replaying these
I think we need to.
so that everyone knows what they were and what we did. But we don't have a lot this week because we were really on top of things last
It's like
week
the
for episode
nomad
19.
migration going on right here.
Well, they want to hear us, and no one can hear us right now. Dude, and by the way, I can't believe how much this bar emptied out at halftime. Do they think the game's over?
No, probably they saw two fat dudes
Two drunk idiots?
coming up and started talking, and they wanted to get
Oh,
out.
Lord. This is going to be a disaster. We literally thought I was going to get my ass kicked when we came up here.
Right.
It's the Fortress Bar and Grill all over again. But you don't remember.
But we're not. I do kind of remember that.
I don't know that you do.
Go.
So apologies and corrections. We have to apologize last week for the video feed screwing up, which apparently I have to apologize right now for the video feed screwing up because, it looks like I might have caught up.
I'm there, and I'm gone again, and I'm there.
All right, I got to figure out why that's happening. People don't tell me things. Technology will not win again, but we're going to fight through it. We have corrections from last week. If you were listening, Lance was trying to reference former Texas Rangers great Mitch Moreland. However, he did not reference Mitch Moreland. He referenced some poor sap named Mike Moreland, who I said is probably some...
Did you look him up on LinkedIn or something?
I didn't look him up on LinkedIn or Facebook. Oh, man, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
We could have had him on.
We could have called him.
Dang it. all the feedback. I don't know why this is happening. So Mr. Mike Moreland is a vacuum cleaner salesman from Des Moines, Iowa. So we apologize for bringing you into our podcast, but we hope you enjoy the show.
Sorry, Mike. Come
Yeah,
join
we
us.
apologize. Take a shot. Have a drink on us.
Absolutely.
And then my favorite segment, by the way, which we just introduced a couple of weeks ago, called Hugs. Who needs a show hug?
Yep.
Do I have morphed this into something bigger? I have morphed this into not just who needs a hug, but who gets a high five.
Oh, I thought you were going to like Jimmy kicks or something.
I don't know how to do that.
You know what a Jimmy kick is.
What is it when you kick someone named Jimmy in the nuts?
No, well, yeah, but it's a nut kick.
Oh, it's a kick in the crotch.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, no. These are people that did good things.
Okay.
So you have people that need a hug that suck, and the people that get a high five, they did something good.
Okay.
All right, so we're calling this segment Hugs and High Fives. So the first one I need to bring up, and we have talked about this person on the show several times. We were very high on this person. This is Mr. Shelby Miller of the formerly of the Texas Rangers, correct?
Well, okay.
We talked about him, right?
Yes, we
Several
did.
times. We
Yep.
had high hopes for Shelby. He started the season off adequately. I wouldn't say greatly. But Mr. Shelby Miller was designated for assignment on July 1st. He was then outright released on July 4th. Really? On July 4th, they're going to release? Isn't it not like releasing a guy on Christmas?
No, what? Okay. I mean,
No.
I'm sorry, Shelby.
So he was replaced on the active roster by the recently claimed southpaw Jesse Biddle. Texas ran out of patience with Miller. He signed a $2 million deal over the winter. They were hoping he would bounce back from Tommy John. He did not. He was a former All-Star, but, dude, he never gained traction here in Texas. He had 8 starts. He's been hit nearly as hard in 14 2/3 innings as he was as a starter as a reliever. He carried a brutal 8.59 ERA with 30 strikeouts and 29 walks through 44 innings pitched. So, yes, Mr. Shelby Miller, you are gone, and rightfully so. By cutting him now, they avoided paying a roster bonus of almost $400,000 had he spent 90 days on the roster. So, good for you, Shelby Miller.
Throw that to Rob.
I don't know what to do with that.
Throw to Rob.
I don't know what to do.
Or Gerb.
So that's a hug for Shelby Miller. We now have a high five, and everyone's going to love this high five. Mr. Ezekiel Elliott of your Dallas Cowboys avoided a suspension from the NFL after his Las Vegas incident. So Zeke met with Roger Goodell, a.k.a. Hitler, on Tuesday regarding that incident in May where he allegedly pushed the security guard. He was handcuffed but not detained. He met with Roger Goodell on Tuesday. After a comprehensive investigation, they concluded Ezekiel Elliott did not violate his personal conduct policy and no further action is warranted. So right after the meeting, Ezekiel Elliott, and I guarantee you this came from Roger Goodell, but it was on Ezekiel Elliott's Twitter account. Earlier today, I met with the commissioner to share with him what occurred in Las Vegas and what I have learned from that incident. I've worked hard to make better decisions and live up to the high standards that are expected of me. I failed to do that here, and I made a poor decision. I apologize to Kyle Johnson, the guy that he pushed, at the time, and I meant it. I need to work harder to ensure I do not put myself in compromised situations in the future. I am rededicating myself to use all of the resources that the league and the Cowboys make available to me. But in the end, it's up to me, and I'm determined not to be in this position again.
So when do you, as a GM or an owner, put the kibosh on the BS about him just acting like a kid?
Well, according to Zeke, he's learned his lessons. He's not going to do that anymore.
Well, he learned his lesson after he made his girlfriend show her cans at the last
Those were nice cans, by the way.
at the St. Patrick's Day parade.
All right. All right. And he got suspended and messed up and served his time. And this, by the way, did not warrant a face-to-face meeting, in my opinion.
No, I don't think it did.
Could have been a
either.
phone call. Zeke, shape up or ship out, brother.
Right. So,
But for whatever reason, he's done. It's time for another hug. Former NFL quarterback Anthony Wright who, by the way, was a quarterback for your Dallas Cowboys, was shot after an argument with his girlfriend's ex, and, by the way, baby daddy. He was hospitalized on Monday after being shot multiple times, stemming from a verbal altercation with his girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, police said. The altercation took place in Concord, North Carolina. Police said officers arrived on the scene after a report of gunfire and found Wright with multiple gunshot wounds, according to the Sun Journal. Wright was rushed to the hospital, where he was reportedly listed in stable condition. So witnesses there said that he got into a verbal spat with his girlfriend's ex when he was there to drop off his kid. An argument occurred. We don't know what the argument was about. And shots were then fired, because that's logical. When you're going to argue with somebody about a kid or whatever, what are you going to do? You're going to pull a gun and you're going to shoot them. That's
what I always did when I was dropping off my daughter.
Is this Texas?
Always had a gun with me and shot at my
dude.
Yeah.
There's so many times I wanted to shoot somebody dropping off my kids.
Shots
So
fired.
no arrests were made, but they were searching for, by the way, the perp's name. I want to write a movie. I want to write a book. I want to form a whole movie franchise around this guy's name.
Okay.
You remember his name? Have you heard his name?
I've heard his name, but I don't remember. Of course.
William Moses Hooker Jr. That's got to be one of the greatest movie names of all time.
Hooker.
William Moses Hooker Jr.
Wasn't there there was a series about Hooker?
You know what series it was. Stop minimizing the great William Shatner, sir. He is a national treasure.
Okay.
Is William. By the way, you know who else was on that show?
Heather Locklear?
Heather Locklear-Ham was on that show. My ex, by the way. So, Mr. Anthony Wright, I hope you recover from your injuries. Here is a show hug from us to you.
Yahtzee.
It is now time for a high five, which we've already discussed.
Yeah, well, we've discussed it, but we haven't put it on the show.
The women's U.S. national team beat, is it the Netherlands or just Netherlands?
The Netherlands.
Today, 2-0 to win their second consecutive and fourth overall World Cup.
No,
Everyone loved what I just said, by the way.
Everybody loved that. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
By the way, U.S. men just almost scored,
Well, I mean,
but they didn't.
does almost count?
So it's time for a show hug. The Redskins' Adrian Peterson is being sued, Lance. He's been ordered to pay $2.4 million on a defaulted loan. Have you heard about this?
Yes. He took out some money, made one payment, and then said, screw it, I'm not paying the rest
This
of it.
is the second time this has happened to him that I can recall. So the Baltimore Business Journal reports that Adrian Peterson has defaulted on another multi-million-dollar loan.
Why is Baltimore reporting
Citing, because he plays in Washington.
on it? Oh, okay. Well, then that's good.
They're right there, right?
I'm an idiot.
Like, I'm thinking about a map. I know a lot about geometry.
I just
So,
he's not paying for the
proximity.
Ravens, so yeah, fuck off.
According to court documents, Democracy Capital Corporation of Bethesda, Maryland, sued Peterson in June, claiming he failed to pay the balance of the loan he took out in April 2016 that was due February 2018. The loan carried a 15% interest rate. Good Lord. A 15% interest rate
Well, you got bad
on
credit.
a 2.4 mil. How do you have bad credit with with your salary?
Because he's an idiot.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, yeah.
That interest rate jumped to 23% when Peterson didn't make the initial repayment of $200,000 in July 2017. The company received a $1.65 million payment in July 2018. Another payment of $50,000 was made in December 2018. Peterson's attorney says Adrian is working with the lender. We did know this file was coming. It's more of a procedural thing than anything else. It's not currently going to be responded to. We are in negotiations to resolve the matter. So is a procedural thing also not repaying a $2.4 million loan on time?
I mean, Johnny, can I have a $2.4 million loan?
Good Lord. So Peterson is 34 years old. He's entering his 13th season in the league. And after playing last year with the Redskins, he signed a 2-year deal worth $5 million. If he plays both of those seasons out, that will put him past $100 million in career earnings. And he can't pay back his $2.4 million. I'm sorry, but that's redonkulous. So, Lance, somebody needs a high five. This is not one that I presented to you before because I thought this to be very interesting and amusing. A man threw a birthday party for a 3-month-old pothole on his street, desperate to get the city's attention.
Was that like on 380?
This man lives in Kansas City.
Oh, no. So, yeah.
So fed up with the hundreds of potholes that line the Kansas City streets of his neighborhood and the perceived lack of urgency from the city to fix them, Mr. Frank Serrano, here's a high five from me to you. He decided the best way to solve the problem was to celebrate it. He threw a birthday party for the 3-month-old pothole on his street, complete with a slice of cake and a candle on top. For a pothole.
Happy birthday, pothole.
He did note he did not sing. He thought that would be too much.
No, why not? I mean,
Sure enough, within days.
But if he would have called Domino's and that would have screwed up his pizza, maybe Domino's would have come to fix it.
30 minutes or it's free.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
So sure enough, within days of posting a photo of the festivities to Facebook, the Public Works Department filled the hole. The hole is one of only hundreds that Serrano has reported to the city without a response. He said you have to be creative to get a response from the city. So Mr. Frank Serrano, a high five from our show to yours, brother. That was extremely creative. So it's time for a hug, and it's time for another Texas Rangers hug, Lance. Relief pitcher Matt Bush will undergo Tommy John surgery for a torn UCL, likely meaning he is out not just the rest of this season, but all of next season.
So he's not going to be pitching in a Home Depot parking lot anytime soon.
So, you know, we were listening to G-Bag Nation on June 12th. They had Woody on.
Yep.
And Woody said that he believed Matt Bush would be up to the majors.
He did say so.
By the end of June, and would also be contributing in the bullpen to this team as they make their playoff run.
Not gonna happen.
Boom, 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 boom.
We're all drunk.
Well, we're all drunk sometimes. And apparently Woody was drunk when he said that. Matt Bush had surgery in September of last year to repair a partial tear of his UCL. He returned to action this summer after missing the first part of the year as he rehabbed and was good in the early part of the year for AA Frisco. And it led to speculation by the club he'd be called up to the majors before the end of June, as we just mentioned.
Yep.
Did not happen.
Nope.
So, Mr. Matt Bush, we will see you sometime, I predict, in April.
Hit that guy.
April of 2022 before we see him. I'm giving him another year.
2022?
Yeah. We might not ever see Matt Bush again.
Okay.
Oh, and then the one that you gave me today.
Yep.
This is good. A show hug goes out to the drunk Hawaiian Airlines passenger that's been ordered to pay $172,000 for making the plane land early.
Mr. Yong Choi Kim. Flying from, where's he going from?
From Hawaii to South Korea.
From Hawaii
from
to
Honolulu.
South Korea, yes.
He forced the plane to land because of his erratic behavior.
He got drunk.
He got drunk. According to the report, he drank a bottle of whiskey before his flight. He was sentenced Wednesday to 6 months in jail for interfering with flight attendants and crew members on the flight in February. Prosecutors say the 48-year-old South Korean man drank a bottle of whiskey before the flight and later bothered a child seated next to him and then lunged at a flight attendant after the employee confronted him about his behavior. Hey, you know what the best part about this story is?
He screwed with a child?
Well, no, that's acceptable.
No.
He can do that whenever he wants. Do you know who subdued the man on the plane?
The military members on the plane.
U.S. service members on board the plane helped to restrain Kim as the flight turned around. He was ordered to pay Hawaiian Airlines the cost of returning the flight and accommodating passengers waiting for the plane in South
$172,000.
Korea. Got him. And then
hit the table.
And then
there was
the next high five. Because I like to alternate the hugs and high fives.
Okay,
I don't want to bring the room down too much.
Yeah.
Do you remember Mr. Martin Perez?
Well, yeah, I mean, we could never trust him.
Well, he was really good when he was really good, and then he was really bad when he was really bad. Mr. Martin Perez, I wanted to give him a high five because I watched him play against the Texas Rangers, pitch against our beloved Rangers.
Smoked our ass.
Last week. He now pitches for the Minnesota Twins.
The Twinkies.
And he has developed a cutter. It is a cutter of epic proportions.
Of course he is.
Cut fastball, if you don't know what that means.
What Ranger, former Ranger that has gone to another team has not developed something to make them devastating against the Rangers?
All of them have.
Okay.
And it's ridiculous. So when he was here, he could not get out right-handed batters. It was ridiculous. They lost faith. They cut ties. But he has developed this cutter in Minnesota, and he is a badass now. He owned the Rangers. For the year, he was 8-3. He has a 4.26 ERA. And dude, he's lighting up the AL Central. I believe is where Minnesota plays.
Yes.
I was thinking AL North, like the NFC North, but that's not how baseball works. Time for a hug. For any of you who are fans of the great whiskey, Jim Beam. As thousands of barrels of Jim Beam bourbon burned in a Kentucky warehouse fire. Did you see this?
Yes, I did.
That made me a little sad. The massive fire destroyed a Jim Beam warehouse in northern Kentucky on Wednesday, but officials said no one was injured. Firefighters were working to extinguish the blaze.
Oh, there were people injured.
At a warehouse in Versailles, they were injured, but they were not on site.
They were injured because, I mean, everybody loves a little bit of Jim Beam.
Well, this story has a happy ending, by the way. The warehouse that burned was filled with 45,000 barrels of bourbon.
You don't think price of Jim Beam might go up a little bit?
We'll have an update about that. Says crews were able to put the first warehouse out, but the other kept burning for hours.
The shit keeps
and
coming
it may have
back.
been caused by lightning. He did that. We operate 126 barrel warehouses in Kentucky that hold approximately 3.3 million barrels for our brands, said a spokesman. The warehouse that was destroyed contained only 45,000 barrels of relatively young whiskey from the Jim Beam mash bill. Given the age of the lost whiskey, the fire will not impact the availability of Jim Beam for consumers. So that means that it shouldn't affect the price at all, right? As far as I can tell.
Well, whatever.
You like Jim Beam?
Yes, I do.
It's all right. It's all right if I mix it. And the very last hug to give out this week. Lance, and you're going to appreciate this one. We need to give a hug to John Daly, my favorite professional golfer of all time.
Okay.
As the RNA tells John Daly,
Swear to God, this
said,
shit keeps coming back in.
take a walk for the British Open. He had turned in a request to use a golf cart for the British Open, and they politely declined.
The RNA, yes, the RNA.
The RNA are a bunch of bastards.
You can do this in the U.S. Open, says the USGA, but the RNA says not today.
The RNA can take a flying leap, brother.
Well, I mean, the RNA.
This is Mr. John Daly, the greatest golfer of all time.
In your eyes.
In everyone's eyes. He drinks Miller Lite. He cusses on the course. He won how many majors?
2.
Including the British Open in 1991.
3.
Including the British Open in 1991.
Okay.
He should get a free pass to whatever the hell he wants.
No.
And he had an amazing reality show with his ex-wife.
Not today, Ginger.
What?
Not today, Ginger.
Who's Ginger?
You are, because I'm Marianne. That's a better looking one of the two.
I really wanted to drink a beer just now, but I didn't pause long enough. Daly asked permission to ride in this year's championship, just as he did in the PGA Championship at Bethpage Black. The 91 PGA champion petitioned the PGA of America for use of the cart on the basis he suffers from osteoarthritis in his right knee, which makes it hard for him to walk for prolonged periods. You know what? I can't walk for prolonged periods. Should I get a golf cart everywhere I go?
Maybe.
My name's not John Daly, so the answer is no.
You get a rascal.
Daly won the 95 Open Championship at St. Andrews in a playoff with Constantino Rocca, who was hoping for the same courtesy at Royal Rush.
Or a segue.
Jeez, to play in the 24th Open Championship. If the 53-year-old wants to play, he'll have to walk like the rest of the field. The statement from the RNA said, "We have carefully considered the request from John Daly to use a buggy at the Open. We appreciate the difficulty John is facing and have full sympathy for him, as this is clearly a serious long-term condition. Having considered all the relevant factors, the championship committee has decided to decline his request because we suck and we hate America."
That's probably what they really said. But
RNA. And by the way, for you golf fans, there's 2 RNAs, okay? This isn't the RNA that runs the freaking... Ooh, that was left-handed, too. Did you know that there's 2 RNAs?
the renal and anal.
Okay, 3. We'll get into that next week because I had to look that up. There's 2 RNAs. One stole the initials from the first, and they're not the same body, the same governing body. So it's ridiculous. So, Lance, we were going to get into the Texas Rangers.
We're all drunk.
Does anyone like the Texas Rangers?
Yeah, thank y'all very much.
Big red. Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push. Give it to me, Lance.
We have not had a Give It To Me Lance yet in the show, and I felt it was time almost 30 minutes into the show.
Well, 31 and a half.
Something like that. So, we closely watch the Texas Rangers because they play locally. And for a while, they were doing very well, and they piqued everyone's interest, and we thought they might do well this year. And they have an awesome young manager, Chris Woody Woodward, that Lance has a man crush on.
I do.
And every time Lance goes to bed, all he does is hear Mr. Woody sing,
Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push. Give it to me, Lance.
But sadly, we haven't had Woody on the air for Lance to proclaim his love. So,
And I will tell
This
him.
week's-
I will tell him that I am his biggest backer, especially on this show.
I bet you're a backer, all right. Did you mean pitcher or catcher?
I was more of a pitcher in my day.
God. All right, that's a segment for next week. So this week's Twitter, which stands for This Week in Texas Rangers. First of all, we need to recognize an unfortunate and tragic thing that happened in the world of baseball and in the world as Mr. Tyler Skaggs passed away at the age of 27 for the pitcher for the Angels. While they were here on Monday morning, he was found unresponsive in his hotel room in South Lake. And an autopsy was done, and results of that are not expected to be, turned over until October is what I'm told. But I thought that the Rangers and the Angels as organizations handled it very, very well.
Yeah. It was. I think it was very cool the way they did it. They postponed the game the day of, and we saw the press
on Monday.
We saw the press conference for the manager. I don't recall his name. For the Angels.
Oh, the Angels, yeah. Not Mike Scioscia.
No, not Mike Scioscia.
The fake Mike Scioscia.
The Angel manager not named Mike Scioscia.
Right.
But very emotional, and it was it's cool the way the two teams handle it, and yes, hat goes off to them. And,
yeah, I mean, there's not a precedent really for that.
No,
a lot of times. So,
and much love goes to the Skaggs family and all the fans. So yeah, we got you.
The only report that South Lake Police released was that there was no suspicion of foul play. They did not think it was self-inflicted. There was no forced entry. So the only thing we can be led to believe is that it was natural causes at the age of 27. So again, they handled it really well. They had a moment of silence for him Tuesday before they started the game. There were a couple of Angels that wore his jersey number. They also had his jersey hanging up in the clubhouse and in the dugout. And the Rangers chalk outlined his number 45 behind the pitcher's mound in red and white to match the uniform number.
Very cool.
For that day. So,
very cool.
Again, we never like to talk about things like that, but I felt like it needed to be addressed. They handle it very, very well.
Absolutely.
Hunter Pence, our Texas Rangers All-Star that we were so excited about to play Tuesday here in a couple days. has now been sidelined and will miss the All-Star game because of injuring a groin on a rehab assignment.
I have had an injured groin, no fun.
I currently have 2 injured groins, and it's no fun.
What are you doing to injure both groins?
What's the groin again? Where is that?
The
Is
groin.
that your crotch? The crotchal region?
My groin again?
The groin again?
Pat my groin again?
So poor Hunter Pence, he said he was fine, but he's got to be disappointed. I don't think he's been to an All-Star game since 2009, so it's been 10 years.
But he made the All-Star game.
He still gets credit.
Yeah.
And if there was a roster bonus or a contract bonus for making the All-Star game, he will still receive that.
JD will give it to him.
And hopefully he's going to be back not long after the All-Star game and start contributing again because, Lance, the Rangers suck again.
Yeah, they're struggling.
As of the time of this prep, which was early today before they beat the Twins.
Minnesota Twins.
The second fake Washington Senators. So now they're 48-42. They are 5-5 in their last 10. And I didn't see what Houston did today, so they're either 9 back or 8.5 back of Houston. Either way, they're still third in the AL West. They're going to be 3 games behind Cleveland for the second wild card spot, 3.5 behind Tampa Bay for the first wild card spot. And they are 7 games under 500 for the season against teams with a winning record. And that is the alarming thing right there.
Not good.
Pitching, of course, is suspect, as it has been. Injuries are starting to mount for this team, and it's been disappointing. Houston's back hot again.
But we know,
as we knew they would be.
The Rangers have played, they'll lose 5 of 6, win 6 in a row, lose, 6 of 7, win 5 in a row. It's been a roller coaster. It's been a Six Flags year for the Rangers thus far.
Well, and I mean, they performed better than anyone thought they would coming into the season.
They performed a hell of a lot better than I thought they would.
So, regardless of what happens, the end result hopefully is better than we thought. However, that does not change the fact that while they're performing well early in the season, and you get hope as a fan, you get hope. You get your hopes up, right?
Always.
You get 10 games at one point over 500, which, by the way, I predict will be their high water mark for the year. They get 10 games over 500. They're 6 back of first place Houston. Leading the wild card, you get it's human nature. You get your hopes up. So the fact that they're going to fall off, and again, I talked about it last week, as soon as it gets hot, I think the fall off will happen. But as you mentioned, that's been their whole year. They lose 6, they win 8.
Yeah.
They lose 3, they win 6. They lose 5, they win 8 more.
Up and down.
So it is the shockwave of epic proportions from Arlington. But so that's going to lead. We're going to talk about that a little bit more because I have one thing as we get into short shots to talk about that is not on the run sheet.
We're all drunk.
That I know you were watching today. That I watched a little bit at home, and it has to do with NASCAR.
Yep.
So they raced in Daytona. And I watched the majority of the race. Daytona is, of course, a restrictor plate race. I have a question for you, Lance. You know more about NASCAR than me.
Okay.
So much more than know about NASCAR than me. I have a question. Is restrictor plate racing outdated?
Well, I mean, no. Because if they let those dudes run flat out around those big 2.5-mile tracks plus, then they're carrying way too much speed. So, no, I don't believe it's outdated. I believe there needs to be some changes made. But they keep trying to make changes, and the changes that they're doing aren't working. Do I have the answer to that? No. No, I do not. They change tail fins. They change the size of the plate. They change everything about it. And it's all based on the make of the car. Holy shit, what just happened?
Goal for Mexico. Mexico's
And
black, right?
we have people cheering in here.
Why are there people cheering for
What
Mexico?
in the hell is actually
What's happening?
fucking happening?
Hey, Sergeant at Arms. She's busy ordering another drink.
Somebody needs to calm the Mexican crowd down in here. This is not happening right now.
So, Lance, you said there's no way to fix.
Are they giving him CPR?
I don't know. Hope he died on the field.
No.
Pitch. Sorry.
This is.
Oh, it's a good goal. Hey,
it was good. I mean, yeah.
hey, that is Brett Hull-esque right there. Brett Hull off the top of the crossbar. That's like Brett Hull versus Dominic Hasek in 1999, Game 5 at 2:30 in the morning,
He
sir.
took him to the cookie jar.
Took him cookie jar.
Yep, cookie jar.
So back to NASCAR, and again, I don't have stuff prepped for this, but I did watch most of the race while I was prepping for the show.
Was he showing his sports bra when he was running off? I mean, what
You
the hell is that?
you can't chafe your nipples when you're playing soccer.
I don't understand.
Maybe he's
I
wearing
don't
Band-Aids.
understand.
He's wearing Band-Aids on his nipples?
No, he had a sports bra on.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Appreciate
Rob.
you, brother. And Rob's wife. I can't remember her name.
No, I don't.
Dolores, Darlene, Deborah.
Miss Rob.
Not Rob? Okay, I'll find out later. Our apologies to not Rob. So, yeah, dude, soccer players sweat. They got to protect the nipples. It's valuable property, man.
Whatever.
Do NASCAR drivers wear sports bras under their fire suits?
I mow the yard, and I don't need protection for my nipples.
Do you think NASCAR drivers wear bras under their suits?
No.
I don't either. So, restrictor plate racing, I don't know. Today, all I heard were the announcers. I don't know who those announcers were today either. I don't recognize any of those guys. I know it's on Fox now.
Jeb Burton.
Jeff Burton was one of the announcers?
Jeb Burton?
Jeb Burton?
I believe it was Jeb Burton.
Who the hell is Jeb Burton?
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Oh, God. Are they just grasping for straws here? And who else? Because there was three dudes.
It was four.
Oh, God.
It was Dale's crew chief.
So who was the dude doing play-by-play or pass-by-pass, whatever they call it? The dude with the weird voice.
Okay, move.
No, dude, he was bad. I'm just saying he was bad. I love watching NASCAR, and Fox had it right for a while. But I don't know what they did this week.
Gone, so we can never have him again.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Rest in peace.
He's not dead.
Oh, well, his career's dead.
But he's not dead.
Boogity, boogity, boogity is dead.
It is, but not Darrell Waltrip.
What are you swinging? Did you unplug your headphones?
No, not yet.
Oh, God.
I might.
Because I unplugged my microphone.
Nobody can hear me anyway.
Tony, can you hear us? Damn it. Better turn that down. All right, well, that was my note I had about NASCAR. Because, dude, it looks like it's not... I know it's restrictor plate, but even the announcers were mentioning how the cars would not handle in traffic. And I know that's the thing about restrictor plate. You get bunches, you get in line, you get out of line, you lose handling.
The last I saw before I left the house, they were still under the red flag. They had the big one, and
by the way, that was all on
lightning in the
that was
area.
all on Austin Dillon, by the way.
Yeah,
that was all on him.
Blocking, and
he'll say he wasn't blocking. He's saying he was trying to adjust his line.
No. He did. He said he was trying to block.
Idiot.
He was trying to block, trying to save his position.
What's he ever done?
And he drives number 3.
Idiot. No, I'm sorry. I like Austin Dillon.
I don't.
I hate the number 3, but I like Austin Dillon.
Go ahead. Move.
All right, so we were talking about the Texas Rangers a little bit earlier.
Yep.
We're all drunk.
Yep.
And
apparently.
So the time is about to come because we are merely days away from the trade deadline. And
we had
trade Odor. You know what? If that was possible, I would say do it. Who do you think is going to want Odor right now?
But I like how that guy right there just took his shot. That guy just his cup was that far above his head when he poured it in.
I want a shot.
Yes.
Why don't we have a shots?
I mean, he just.
The dude at the bar?
Yes, it was impressive.
Did he just literally pour a shot into his mouth?
Yes, from like arm's length.
I want a shot.
It was impressive.
I want a shot.
The guy behind you.
As my wife says, no.
The guy behind you.
Oh, she didn't say no?
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Who are you talking to? The bald guy at the bar, right?
The bald guy
in the glasses.
Yep. I got you though. Right here, bro.
Lord. So the Texas Rangers have lost 6 of the last 8 games. So as the trade deadline looms, as I try to keep control of the show here without a shot in front of me.
Dude, we have lost control of the show.
Hey,
when
I'm on the run sheet still. We're good, man. We're gonna be wrapping it up here pretty quick though, because I gotta see the end of this soccer game.
Oh, it's a match.
Said no one ever.
It's a match.
Jeez. The Rangers are 48-42 on the season.
still
Start
talking
of the
about Twitter?
second half. No, we've moved on from Twitter.
sorry.
This is an actual segment now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, sorry, we're on short shots.
No, back to what we were talking about last week.
Mike Miner.
Mike Miner.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Myers
discussed this in the truck on the way over here.
Yes, we did.
Like rednecks often do while drinking a beer.
Right.
I'm sorry, we were thinking about drinking a beer.
We wanted to think about drinking a beer because, we were talking about Mike Miner last week and about what we would do if, what we were going to do with him. If we were going to keep him or, keep him through the end of the year, re-sign him.
We're all drunk.
To an extension or trade. And so has your mind changed?
Yep.
So we have gone from
In a week.
We went from in a week. We went from what 6.5 back to 9.5 back.
Back to 9.5 or 9, not sure, because I
Right.
didn't see what the Astros did today.
So what would you do? A scenario, drunk scenario. The Chicago Cubs offer you 2 of their top 3 prospects. One being a pitcher, one being a power outfielder, and for minor and compensation. Do you do it now?
I do it if the package is good enough, if I like that pitcher that's coming in, if he's young enough and he looks good enough. Yes, I do that right now today.
So
I do that right now. You have to. Tony's saying no, but I think this season, you know what? Tony, going into this season, their plan was not to win this year. Their plan was to rebuild and keep putting pieces on for next year and the year after that at the new stadium.
They signed Mike Miner. I believe they signed Mike Miner
As trade bait.
as trade bait. And
You're not going to win this year.
And last week I was fully on board. I was fully on board to, if we can sign him and keep him till we're ready to win. But I just don't think.
What a difference a week makes. We were both saying that a week ago.
When you lose 6 of 7, it goes to the shitter. And the U.S. has 10 minutes to fix the shit that's going on behind us.
That ain't going to happen.
Where's
You know what? The Colony, he left. The Colony High School soccer team could beat this USA team right now.
No, don't.
Junior varsity.
Don't.
Girls junior varsity.
No. Dude, I am not getting in a fight here tonight.
Handicapped girls junior varsity?
I'm not getting in a fight here tonight.
Oh, look, he has a migraine. He got a migraine right in the middle of the soccer match. And now he has to be taken off the field. Okay. Good thing he gets to go to Mexico for that free, cheap treatment.
Well, I mean, if we were a socialist country, then you could get free shit.
Socialism. Oh, Canada. So, again, as I mentioned, Rangers are 48-42 on the season. They start the second half by playing 7 of 9 against the Disastros, who are atop the AL West. They host Houston for 4 games on Thursday, starting on Thursday, and then 2 against the D-backs, and then play the Disastros 3 more games in Houston on July 29 or the 19th through the 21st. I do not see things going well for the Rangers on that stretch.
No, I mean, and that's why I think that we need to reevaluate. Even in a small week, we need to reevaluate how we were discussing Mike Miner.
So at the end of that stretch, the Rangers will be 10 days away from the July 31st trade deadline. So the stretch that they're in, that they just finished against the Twins and the next against the Astros, are going to be telltale. And dude, they played terribly against. And this is what happens when you play the division-leading team.
Well, I mean,
Minnesota's a good team.
Minnesota has the
Hey, wait, time out. Stop. I have a question for you.
Yeah, okay.
Why in the hell does Nelson Cruz play for the Twins? Someone explain that to me. Why is he still in the league?
Well, I mean, if you were to ask Nelson Cruz, if you were to tell Nelson Cruz,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
If I had the opportunity to tell Nelson Cruz one thing,
Catch the damn ball.
no,
Oh, that wouldn't be it.
no, it would be
Look up.
at least Dez caught the ball.
Oh, Lord. But neither one of them got credit for it.
Nope.
So really this next stretch, especially against Houston coming up after the All-Star break, will be the telltale and tell us what postseason hopes the Rangers have, if any. And John Daniels will have to make a decision about selling, sitting pat, which there's no way that happens.
No.
Or buying, which, again, there's no way that happens. They lost 95 games last season.
We got nothing to give.
The Rangers lost 95 games last season. They've been a surprise winning team so far. But, dude, they need so much help if they're going to stay in the postseason race down the stretch.
I would love to have Mike Minor around for the next 3-4 years. But if we can get something for him, let's do it. I mean, sorry, Mike.
And they need pitching still. And this is what I'm saying is that if they're going to be buyers, they still need more pitching, both on the starting lineup and in the bullpen.
Is out of the question.
Jesse Chavez, by the way, who was just moved to the rotation after our good friend Shelby Miller was released, as we discussed earlier.
No.
Allowed 5 runs, 4 of those were earned in 5 innings to take the loss Saturday against the Twins. It was his 3rd start since coming out of the bullpen. So he's not getting it done. If they want to get another starter, if they can find another starter, if they think they can compete and get another starter, that could put Chavez back in the bullpen where he belongs, by the way. He's been effective as a reliever. Him, Sean Kelly, Chris Martin, and Jose Leclerc, it's actually a good veteran bullpen if they can all stay healthy. I have no problems with that at all. But they need offensive help, too. Hunter Pence has been missed. That groin has hindered the club, not just him. But he's supposed to be back not long after the All-Star break.
My wife missed me when my groin was hurt, too.
Well, I'm not going to get into our conversation last week, but apparently Stacy missed a lot of groins. I'm really glad she's not here to hear me say that. So again, though, if we have it our way, the Rangers will take the opposite approach because the slide's going to continue. It's going to drop them way far back in the division and the wild card. They need to become sellers. They don't have much to sell, but what they have, if John Daniels, and I hate to say if he can work his magic because I'm not sure John Daniels has magic.
Are we going to refer back to the John Daniels rant?
I am not going on another John Daniels rant in a public location.
Good.
That was unprofessional, uncalled for, unwarranted on his part. Wait, was it before or after I did that when I said, I respect John Daniels and everything he's done, and then I totally went on the rant?
I don't have any idea.
That was classic. That has since been purged from our archive, so no one will ever be hearing that again.
It's a shame you're talking so much because I'm drinking all the beer.
Yeah, I know. Don't drink that one.
No.
I was chugging.
No.
He missed it. He hit the crossbar.
I go. I need a beer. Somebody please bring me a beer.
You can't have that one. I call that one. I called that beer.
Tony.
Before Lance got it.
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Can I have a beer?
RJ not choppy.
RJ not choppy. Would you drag me a beer from the bar, please?
We're all drunk.
Yeah.
Big Red. Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push. Give it to me, Lance.
So, Lance, you're a betting man, correct?
Yes, I am.
Maybe to a fault or not?
Almost to a fault. Dude, I'm
So-
going to...
So that was a good shot. So you want to hear something funny? I'm not a betting dude. I don't really know how lines work or why they release them when they do or why or what the science is behind that.
Can we put something
But-
in this to make it really heavy so it hurts?
Belch. You can throw an empty bottle at them.
But I'd probably miss him.
Hey,
and
those
hit
beautiful
her.
ladies behind it. No, we don't
Yeah.
want to do that. Or Mike or Tori. We don't want to hit any of them. I mean, Lauren,
I don't mind
maybe.
hitting, I don't
but-
hitting Mike, but I mean,
Oh, dude, he'd kick our ass.
dude, I'm a whole lot closer to the door than he is.
Yeah, and I got to get around you. Oh, nice.
Oh, look, I knocked the pepper shaker over.
Food fight.
I knocked the pepper shaker over.
Yeah, you
My
meant
bad.
to.
Sorry.
So I don't know why or when lines are released and odds and crap like that. I really
the week of
don't
the
know.
game. Usually the week of the game.
But a Las Vegas book has released lines for every game in the NFL season next year. Now you tell me, as a gambling man, is that odd or is that normal?
No, to be quite honest, I don't know, but I mean, I can see it happening. That way they can start drawing bank now. I mean, because is it odd? Yes. To me, it would be odd.
Well, and it's going to change, right?
Yeah, absolutely, it will change.
So explain this to me. So if I went and I placed a bet on the Cowboys week 1 against the Giants,
Yep.
Cowboys in Dallas are 7-point favorites with an over-under 46.5. If I place that bet today on that line, that doesn't change, right?
No. it
So
will
I
not
have
change.
that.
You
So
have that.
Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Amari Cooper die in a plane crash on their way to Peru on vacation.
You're screwed.
Cowboys are going to lose.
You're screwed.
The Cowboys signed Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, and Emmitt Smith. They win by 128 points.
You'd be okay.
I just
but
win, right?
It's not going to happen.
But I just win.
Right.
Okay. So that won't change.
No.
Even though the line changes next week.
Yes.
I bet on that line. So that's how this works, right?
Right. Whenever
All right.
you place your bet, your number is stuck.
Okay.
You
that's-
have a ticket, your number is stuck.
No one can change that ticket.
No one
Gotcha.
changes that ticket.
I would like to go over
Unless you got a real bad bookie.
the Dallas Cowboys season quickly huge,
What
says
she
Tiger, for every Cowboys game next year and what the lines are now. Because some of them are interesting.
Okay.
So we've got week 1, Dallas hosts the Giants.
Give
and
them
I
to me,
just
'cause-
gave that one away.
Because I may pull my phone out and start laying it down.
Start betting?
Yep.
Cowboys are 7-point favorites at home against the Giants in week 1 with an over, and they didn't give over-unders on all these games. With the over-under on that game, 46.5.
Just give me the line. So
You just want the lines. Dallas hosting the Giants, which you know Eli's going to be the starter still.
If Eli's the starter, yeah, I may take that. I may take that.
Week 2, Dallas at Washington. It's a pick'em
At Washington, Dallas.
because I guarantee you they don't know who the Washington starter is yet, so
Well, they
they're
got,
not placing the line.
3 of them.
Is it going to be Colt? Is it going to be what's his face from
Hey.
Ohio State?
Here's your Redskins right here. Here's your Redskins right here.
Week 3, Dallas hosts Miami. Dallas is 9-point favorites.
Don't know that they host them though, so
It's in Dallas, which Cowboys
I
don't play
still
well at
I
home.
still don't
Do we know who the Miami quarterback is?
Yeah.
Who?
Isn't it
Tannehill?
no,
He's in Tennessee.
Tannehill's gone. The
Don Strock.
no, is he dead?
I hope Don Strock's not dead. Dan Marino.
No, the cat that was at
Remind me.
Denver. From
John Elway.
From Houston.
Brock Osweiler.
Next.
You said from Houston. I don't know who their quarterback.
From
Who?
from the University of Houston. From the University
Rodney
of Houston.
Pete?
Just go to the next one. This is going nowhere.
Week 4, Dallas in New Orleans. New Orleans are 7-point favorites.
Ooh.
Now we're talking week 4. Dallas is probably grooving a little bit if everybody's healthy. We're a month into Kellen Moore's offense.
I might take the Cowboys +7.
Yep.
+7.
+7.
I don't have to say they got to win.
They just can't lose by 7.
Stay within 7. I might take that.
You know what? I would take that. I would take that for sure.
I might take that.
Week number 5. Why are people cheering for Mexico?
I don't understand.
Hecho en Mexico.
Is this not
I'm
fucking
about to get my ass
American?
kicked. Remember the Alamo. Week 5, Green Bay at Dallas. Dallas, 4-point
Hey,
favorites.
your buddy's going to be in town for that week.
I don't have a buddy that I'm aware of that would be in town that week.
Yeah. Artie will be in town that week.
Well, Artie can go to the game.
So, what's the number again?
Dallas, 4-point favorites at home against Green Bay and the dress-wearing Aaron Rodgers, who couldn't win a Super Bowl for a team if he bought it.
I will call Arnie tomorrow and tell him I will give him 4 points and take his next paycheck.
Well, that sounds great, but I will warn you, a fry cook at McDonald's does not make that much money. So you're not going to be winning a lot.
You can't talk about my buddy like that.
Week 6, Dallas in New York against the Jets. Dallas, 2-point favorites.
Take them.
Why would they only be 2-point favorites against the Jets?
Well, because they
In
got
week
Le'Veon
6.
Bell, they've got a new offense,
Washed
they got a new
up.
coach.
Has been.
I mean, it's going to be, I wish Gerber was still here. Maybe he could help me. But, yeah.
Well, this is not a golf line.
No, but he's
He's good with lines, period.
He's a better gambler than I am.
Week 7, the big one. Dallas hosts Philadelphia. Dallas, again, when they don't know who to pick, what do? They pick the home team by 3.
Yep. Well, I mean, because that's pretty much an even line. And
It's an even line.
You know, it's usually about a 3-point spread. So, but yeah, I mean, we're talking about somebody's going to get hurt, and Cowboys, why not?
I mean, you're talking almost 2 months into the season. You don't know what's going to happen, so I might take that. So week 8 is a bye. I can guarantee the Cowboys will not lose in week 8.
That's usually when it's a good time to bet.
Week 9, the first rematch of the season. The Giants host the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 2-point favorites. I guarantee you by week 9, Eli will not be the starter for the Giants.
Then you take them right now.
Phil Simms will come out of retirement.
Nope. No, they took that first round
And back
draft
up
choice.
Gary Collins.
Nope. Take it. Bet them.
Week 10, Dallas hosts Minnesota. Dallas, 3-point favorites. Again, no line. Just pick the home team by 3.
See, that's another.
Well, I don't know what's going on with Minnesota.
So wait, who's their? Oh, they got
Kirk Cousins.
They got Kirk Cousins. Yeah, no, I'm a Cowboy there.
Yeah, so
Kirk Cousins couldn't win in a pressure situation if it fucking
not
beat
much
him
less
in
than
the
Dallas. Week 11, Dallas at Detroit. Dallas, 2.5-point favorites. I don't know about that.
I don't know about a home favorite. So
Yeah, I don't know about that.
A
home
away
dog?
favorite. Yeah, the home dog is usually the way to go.
And this is my favorite, most interesting week 12. Dallas at New England. New England, 6-point favorites.
Well, I
What
mean,
the hell?
I need to wait and see what Mr. Prescott and the rest of that
Yep.
new
Thanks, Billy.
offense
Pretty
has.
soon we're getting our tech.
Appreciate
we're
you,
watching
man.
on the live Facebook feed.
Need to wait and
Is
see.
it
what
all
that-
choppy and screwed up?
It looks good.
Oh, it does? Okay, cool.
Sorry to interrupt.
Because I can't tell from here. No, you're good. You're good, brother. You can interrupt whenever the hell
need to-
you want.
I need to wait and see what that new offense has got going on before I.
All right. We're going to have you on talk some Disastros, but we'll do that next time.
Hey, they won today.
Don't trip.
Hey,
Oh, they did win? Okay, well, there's our answer.
Well-
They won today.
then I hope you do trip.
but not over our stuff.
Knock your front teeth out.
Oh, come on. He's got to sing.
It doesn't matter.
Do right, do right, do what I do. Do right, do right, do what I do.
He's rooting for
He's not even listening to me.
Astros. To hell with Billy.
All right. Dallas at New England, Week 12, 6-point dogs to New England. I'm not real sure what to think about that.
No, I don't either right now. And I would not. That's no wager. Right now it's no wager.
You wouldn't take it.
Right now it's no wager.
How about Week 13, Buffalo in Dallas? Dallas 7.5-point favorites.
That's a lot of points.
I predict by that game, Cole Beasley will be cut from the team. And will be back living and prosper farming his acre of land. Because nobody's going to want him.
No comment.
Week 14, Dallas at Chicago. Dallas a 4-point dog in Chicago in Week 14.
I'll take that.
Really?
I'll take that.
All right. And that's an interesting one. That one of the New England ones
I may
interests
be
me.
there. I may be there, so
What?
I'll take
In
that.
Chicago?
Yep.
Why would
Yep.
you be in Chicago?
Aaron and I may go to the game.
The soccer game's over. Why
Aaron
would you
and I
go to Soldier Field?
Well, maybe they'll have real lines painted down by then.
The gridiron.
Yes.
Week 15, the LA Rams at your Dallas Cowboys is a pick'em. And I don't know why.
Well, because they're talking about they're going off of rosters and
It's all guesswork at this point, right?
Absolutely it is. So I'm not a bookie, but if they're putting it pick 'em, they're talking about it being close.
Right.
It depends on how much leash JGZ.
What if Jay Jeezy's fired by week 15?
He won't be. He won't be.
And what if Danny White is hired as head coach?
Nope, won't happen.
Come on.
Next.
Dude, he was great in the Arena League. You won championships.
The Arena League.
Week 16 to end the season, hopefully for the
Actually, it's
division.
Week 17 because we've
I'm
already
sorry.
had a
Week 17, we had a bye. My bad. Screwed up the weeks. To finish the season, possibly for the division, the Dallas Cowboys visit the hated Philadelphia Eagles. And did you order a bucket?
No,
Nikes.
I didn't, but we got
Thanks,
one.
sir.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. Dallas, 3.5-point dogs in Philly for the last week of the season. Obviously, that's got to change if there's a division on the line, right?
And I don't want to be a homer, but man, I'm going to pull for the Cowboys no matter what.
Well, of course you're going to pull for the Cowboys.
But do I think they'll win? Do I think they'll stay within 3? Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Steven. Greatest drummer of all time. Billy, the greatest lead vocalist / guitarist of all time.
Hey, you're going to wake up one day and I'm going to be standing over the top of you with a pair of shears.
Do I need a sticker?
I'm going to fix
I
your
need a
hair.
sticker for my laptop because I had to change laptops. We are getting the coveted wire rim stickers right now, as you can see on camera. Those are being sold on eBay right now for $29.99. So fork up $3,000, you can have a wire rim sticker. But wait, there's more. All right, so long story short,
they'll give you a second one absolutely free if you pay the $47 in shipping.
long story short, Lance says the Cowboys are going 5-11. I don't know where he came up with that number.
I don't know where you came up with that number.
Sorry, I'm not throwing my partner under the bus. We will get
you
into
did last
Cowboys. I did lots last week. I do that a lot every week. Thanks, guys. Y'all be careful. We will get into season predictions as we get closer to the season. We might even have some
They took our bucket.
We got to get that back. Oh, was that it? No, she got it. Lauren got it. Lauren got it. She was smart. She got it. She got the bucket. Can you put it on your head?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think she'd really do it. I didn't think she'd really do it. That was awesome. Can you do that later? Can you do that later when it's just us? Just the bucket for just the tip.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all you got.
The only other thing we had
We're all drunk.
Because
Big Red, Big Red. Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push, push. Give it to me, Lance.
NBA free agency is pretty much over. The big fish are gone. Do you even want to talk about this?
No, I really don't, because I wanted Fish here because I wanted to ask a very serious question.
And your question was?
Why in the hell can't we get a top-of-the-line free agent?
We meaning the Dallas Mavericks of Dallas.
Of course.
Well, I have two theories why Dallas cannot land a big fish.
Mark Cuban's a dick.
No one likes
Or-
Mark Cuban, and everyone hates Dirk Nowitzki. One of those two things.
Anymore.
One of those two things. Does anyone hate Dirk?
No.
So it's got to be the other one, right?
So I mean, right now we've got 4 guys, and they're all versions of Dirk, basically.
Oh, I disagree with you vehemently. Are you talking about our roster?
Vehemently?
Vehemently.
Vehemently.
Vehemently. That's a word, right?
Vehemently.
Lauren, spell check. Word check. Vehemently. If I
Vehemently
said I
or
disagree with
vehemently?
you vehemently, is that a thing?
You're
Well, I don't want your opinion. I want you to ask Google.
GTS.
Because I disagree with what you just said. I don't think we have 4 players that are exactly the same.
No, they're not. They're not. Wait, hang on.
Oh, wait, she has
hang
an
on.
answer. She has an
Wait,
answer.
Don't even listen to her right now.
Oh.
Hang on.
He just shushed you.
Don't even listen to her right now, because I'm still talking.
She's not going to show
I'm
you
not.
her boobs
I'm
later.
not saying they're exactly the same.
The same type of player.
I'm not even saying they're the same type.
That's exactly
of player.
what... I'm going to rewind
Give
the
me-
podcast. Rewind.
Okay, but wait. They are forms of Dirk in their own way. Each individual player is like Dirk.
I refuse to throw my
different
partner under the bus again, so
different-
I'm going to give him an opportunity to
Different
explain.
pieces. They are each different pieces of Dirk, but still Dirk as a whole.
Okay, I have no idea what any of that means.
They all play basketball. That's all I get.
They're all tall white Germans.
They're not all Germans, for one.
They're all tall and white, though, aren't they? Ooh.
They are.
Yes, vehemently.
In a forceful,
Wait, microphone right there.
in a forceful, passionate, or intense manner with great feeling.
Right, vehemently. Yes, I disagreed with you with great feeling just now.
That's fine.
Man, I was right for once. That's awesome. Love when
Doesn't
I'm
mean
right.
that you're right.
Hey, high five for me.
No,
Show high five.
it means.
Ow.
All that means is that you didn't create a new fucking word.
I didn't create. There's no Timtionary tonight for next week. I did not create a word, mofo.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're not going to get into. I had prepared the top 15 NBA free agents and where they landed, where they left, and how much for. But I really don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
'cause
we'll
it's-
do that
None of them are the
next
Mavericks.
week in the-
Oh, but I do have one interesting thing I did want to talk about on this list, which was very interesting. So this list was from CBS Sports. The top 15 available free agents
Can I go
and where
pee?
they went. Do you know who number 6 was? According to CBS Sports, the number 6 available free agent was Kristaps Porzingis. How was he an available free agent? Everyone knew he was signing with Dallas.
But he was still available. Did you
Hey,
pronounce his,
so there you go. The Mavs landed a big fish right there. The number 6 free agent.
Did you pronounce his name right?
He is not Kristaps Porzingis.
Okay. All right.
He is not Kristaps
Just
Porzingis.
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that
That
you
is
weren't
your
pronouncing
Lance
it.
Scenery.
I just want to make sure that
That
you
was
weren't
not me, that was
pronouncing his
you.
name like I did.
So there you go. You know what? The Mavericks did land a big fish. They landed the number 6 free agent.
Isn't this all good?
Why is it so quiet in here all of a sudden?
Well, because freaking hockey
Jesus
match
Christ.
is
I
over.
didn't even realize we were still
It's
on
not
the
even
air.
hockey, it's soccer. My bad.
Dude, we're really loud. People can hear us.
Well, I mean, it's a whole lot quieter now because we're not screaming over.
So,
"Goal!"
yes. So if you ever say the Mavs can't land a big fish, I will dispute you and I will say they did this year. The number 6 free agent available.
Idiot.
Idiot, idiot, idiot. They also landed Dwight Powell.
Oh, yeah, well, we had him. We didn't land him.
We
just
landed him
re-signed
again.
him.
There were other teams that wanted him. They're all in the D League, but they wanted him.
D-League or G-League?
What is it now? And why is it changed? Why did it
Hell if I
change? The DG League. What the hell ever. All right.
Absolutely.
We are the Drunk Sports Podcast. I am IndyCar Tim. He is big drunk Lance Red Dorsett.
Nope.
Give it to me, Lance. Give it to me, Lance. Push. Give it to me, Lance.
And we were going to talk to Mr. Fish, but he had to bolt because he didn't want to come on the air because he's air shy. He doesn't like talking into microphones. We know that ain't right.
Yeah.
We will be back next week, next Sunday at Studio 69 at Casa Not So Grande.
Studio 69 at Casa.
Talking more sports, drinking more beer. Again, we want to thank everybody here at the Maverick Bar, including Mr. Fish, including, yes, everyone.
Yes, everyone.
Colin, Frank,
Thank you.
our bartenders, our waitresses, everybody that came to hang out. Tony, I still have not recovered your case of Miller Lite from the dock. I'm still working on it. We want to thank RJ Not Choppy for coming out. We want to thank Lauren. We want to thank Tori. We want to thank Mike and Billy and Steven, our drummer, who did not bring his drums. I'm not sure why he didn't bring his drums in and drum along with us.
That's a whole lot of shit to carry just to beat on.
But we had a really good time here tonight.
Not that you've ever had to carry a lot
U.S.
of shit like
men's
that to beat on it.
team lost in Chicago. They lost the Gold Cup. Does that mean they won the Silver Cup?
So if they'd have built a wall across midfield, they might have won.
Oh, political humor at its best, ladies and gentlemen. He's here all week.
Just saying.
We will be back next week, 9
If
o'clock.
ICE would have stopped them at the border,
YouTube,
the US might have won.
Facebook Live. Please listen to us on iTunes, on Spotify, on CastBox, on Podbean, on all of your local and national podcast servers. I don't know what the hell you call them. I don't know how this thing works.
Hell if I know.
We're also at the drunksportspodcast.com. Go America. Go soccer. Next game for the women's national team does not exist because they are the champions of the world. Go America women. As for us,
We're all drunk.
we are.
We're all drunk.
So Lance, take us out of here, brother, for this week.
Once again, Timmy and I hope you all find happiness as we have. And when you wake up and you need to fight a demon, give us a call. We love you. Thank you so much. Like us, share us. Take us out of here, baby.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Drunk Sports Podcast. Join us next time for a lot more alcohol and more drunk sports talk with Lance and Tim. Until next time, here's to you.
We're all drunk.
This is the funnest night ever.
My God, that's impressive.
Surprise, I'm here.
Absolutely.